Morning, young lady. How you doing?
Hi, my name is Jennifer, and
Where you from?
I'm from Roanoke. I was born in Roanoke, Virginia,
Okay.
but my story's kind of different.
Okay, hold on. First, let's see. Let's get your age. How old are you?
38.
38. 38.
Yes.
Okay, Jennifer, 38 from Roanoke, Virginia. All right, let's go with it.
Yes.
Start from the beginning.
Like I said, I was born in Roanoke, Virginia. When I was 2, my mom claimed to have moved to Ohio, and I was raised in Ohio. This is where it gets weird, though, because I always had a feeling that I was adopted. My mom was like the evil, wicked stepmom, and I had a sister who was the same way. They always were up against me, just blaming everything on me. I had to do everything. Everything was my fault. I was put in private school, which I thought was weird. And my dad was in the Army and adopted me because he wasn't my real dad, which I didn't know until I was 10. And the whole scenario was weird till finally one day my mom said, "You're not my kid." And I don't know if she was just saying that because I was on drugs, but I'm 100% sure they kidnapped me from Roanoke, Virginia as a baby, because nobody with 2 young kids is going to move to Ohio and not know nobody. And her husband's in the military. So I'm thinking this is explaining why I ended up on drugs. But I started out like I said, I went to private school, then I went to public school about 6th grade. And it was a good school, and everybody out there was richer than me and was driving Porsches to school. I'm sitting here walking to school with no tennis shoes in the freezing cold, didn't know nothing about layering up, didn't have no socks, was wearing high waters. My parents never bought me anything. So at 16, or I would say at 15, I got my first prohibition charge and had to go to rehab.
What you got on probation for?
Prohibition is for underage drinking.
Oh, okay.
I was at a party, and then I think by 15, before that, I had I don't know what it was because I was so young, I didn't know any better, but my mom said I got raped, and then I ended up going to jail because I was spazzing out and passed out. So the cops took me to jail. They thought I was drunk, when in reality I was just flipping because I didn't know what was going on, and they put me in DH for that.
Hold on. Let's stop real quick. So your mom said you got raped.
Well, I mean, technically it was rape.
Why is that?
I don't
Let's
like
talk about
to put that stigma on people.
What happened?
I went to this guy's house. I was at my sister's house partying.
How old was you?
15.
Okay. How old was the guy?
Huh?
How old was the guy?
He was like 28.
Okay.
And at the time. And so when I went over to his house with my cousin, I didn't know anything about the world. He was trying to have sex with me, and I kept saying no. And I walked back to my sister's house. Well, I guess he followed us there and was like trying to whatever on the side of the house. So I freaked out because my boyfriend's in the house and this guy's doing this. So I freaking just freaked out because the cops showed up. And then I didn't know what was happening. They'd probably seen the whole thing, and that's probably why they showed up. Because he did it right in front of a busy street. And, I mean, who does that? Yeah.
So he actually have intercourse with you?
Yeah, he did. But like I said no, and he followed me there, and I was already
But he did have sex with you?
Yeah. And they put me in jail for that.
Why?
So, I don't know. Because I just laid down and closed my eyes and acted like nothing was happening. I didn't know how to deal with anything. And they must have thought I was drunk or passed out. And so I get out of jail, like I said. Then I get another prohibition charge for being at a party. And I was the only one in the whole party that went to jail because I was 15 and everybody else was over age. But you should have seen me at 15. I was really pretty. And then after that, the next thing I know, by 16, I'm pregnant. So I quit drinking. I'm still smoking a little weed. And then I had 1 kid by 16, 2 kids by 17. And then by the time I had my 2nd kid, I had quit smoking weed and drinking. And then I was going to school, and bam, out of nowhere, I follow my cousin home to see what she's doing. And she's got this little pipe. And I'm thinking it's a pinch hitter. And it wasn't a pinch hitter. It was crack cocaine. So I'm like, what is it? Let me have it. Let me have it. Let me see it. Let me try it. Not knowing what it was. So I hit it. I just wanted more. I didn't realize that's what it does to you. I just thought I couldn't get a hit.
Oh, so you were chasing it, but you
yeah,
thought
but didn't know.
that's the high.
Yeah, that's the high, and it's horrible because you're like, I didn't get it. I didn't get it. What's it supposed to do? I didn't get it.
And actually did get it. That's why you're chasing it.
And it doesn't really give you a high. It just makes you want more.
Right.
And so we jump in the car. We're driving down the street. And man, I'm only 18. My kids are at home, only 1 and 2 years old. I got $6,000 in the bank. Well, because I was
had $6,000 in the bank?
Because I was going to school, and when you're a single mom, you get paid to go to school.
Oh, okay.
Well, we go and we follow these 2 black guys.
You gonna light your cigarette back up?
Yeah, we follow these 2 black guys that were flagging us down, me and my cousin, and we're both white, but she only dates black guys. So we go to follow her. I told you my nose is broke, so I don't look too good on camera. I'll tell you about that here soon. But it's effects of being in the bad environment. You shouldn't be in those kind of environments. But then we followed them home. They literally gave us all the free stuff we wanted for 3 days straight.
Correct.
Yes, crack cocaine. And she's in the bedroom doing whatever with the dope boy. And I'm like, oh no, I can't do it. I just had 2 kids. I'm not doing none of that.
Right.
I don't. Well, mindless to say, at the end of the 3 days, they cut us off and said, you got to go, you know? And by then I was hooked. I took all my $6,000. I spent it all on crack cocaine. I had a bunch of bad checks. I wrote over $100,000 in bad checks. And then,
at that age?
Yes.
How old were you?
18.
When you started writing bad checks?
Just turned 18 because I had him by the time I was 17, and I just turned 18 like earlier that month or something. And then, like I said, I caught, 5 forgeries, because not only did I cash my checks, I cashed 1 check on my mom's, and then a couple other checks people wanted me to cash, because I didn't know any better. I didn't know it was going to be illegal to do that. I was only 18, was 17, just turned 18. So now by the time I'm 18, I'm in prison. I'm doing prison time.
How much time are you doing in prison?
I did 6 months total. 3 months waiting in jail to ride out, 3 months there. And mind you, I didn't have nobody. I had only had my mom. I had never been out in the world except for only smoking crack 2 months, and I was already in prison.
Golly.
Yes, and I had never been out in the world. I was sheltered my life, so I didn't know anybody. I was in there starving with killers and people that stabbed their husband in the eye. I mean, all kinds of the worst of the worst of the worst. This is where they put me at because I smoked crack for 2 months. That's what I'm saying. It's not a good thing to do. And then, I guess after that, I get out. The day I got out, I had sex 1 time, got pregnant with my 3rd kid. So now I have 3 kids by the time I'm 19. 1 time, because I was at my dad's house, my real dad, or they say it's my real dad, and he likes to drink and smoke crack and weed and anything you have, he'll do it. And I was I had known this guy that was next door to him since I was in high school. So his wife, and by this time, I'm already back in school trying to get my life together. But I couldn't stop the partying long enough. I was already back there partying, getting drunk, smoking weed. And sure enough, this guy had a wife, which I didn't know. She comes in, dumps my purse and tries to fight me. And then I find out she's in my class at school, gets me kicked out of college. So I literally got kicked out of school and had to change my major because of this girl. But I think a lot of it had to do with my criminal record. And because I was taking criminal justice, I wanted to know the laws and the systems, because I didn't think they were allowed to just arrest you like that. And they'd been doing that to me my whole life for no reason.
Right.
It doesn't matter what I'm doing. You don't have a right to come up to me, put me in a cage, and extort money and say, well, if somebody don't pay us the ransom, the bond, you're not going nowhere. I mean, it's kidnapping and extortion.
Right.
So now.
What about all the bad checks you wrote? So you think that was extortion too?
Well, that was more like theft, I would say.
I mean, saying though, so you didn't think you deserved to be in jail, even though you
oh yeah,
I wrote $100,000 for bad checks, and you still was mad at the system.
I went to prison for it, sweetheart.
I know, but the way
I'm talking about the first 2 times that I went to jail.
Okay, when you got raped.
when I got raped, and then the time I was just hanging out at a party. And I
Okay.
was the only one that went to jail.
But you was underage.
Everybody in there was drunk.
But you was underage.
Yeah, but so was my friend and my sister, and they didn't go to jail.
Well.
And I had 3 or 4 friends there, and they were all in high school.
Yeah, but the law was the law.
So
okay,
why would he pick me out of everybody?
Because you were 15. Now, how about the so let's speed back up. So now
Okay, so let's put kids in jail instead of adults. That sounds really.
I mean,
fucking...
if you're 15 and you're drinking, you got to accept responsibility at some point in your life. You can't go around and feel like the world owe you a break.
I don't feel like the world owes me, but I feel like the reason we came to this country was for freedom, to get away from the laws and oppression of the law.
When you're grown, you got freedom to do grown up things. Not as a baby.
Okay, so why?
I don't think my son 4 years old. I don't think my 4-year-old son can go smoke marijuana and drink alcohol because he decides to.
Right. Well, if you're old enough to have sex and make a baby, you're old enough to kind of.
You weren't old enough to have sex and make a baby at 15.
Well, I had.
But you wasn't old enough though.
But I was.
I get it. So let's just go.
Yeah.
I get it.
If you're old enough to have a baby, then you're old enough to make your own decisions.
All right.
Now, whether you were taught right before that is entirely depends on what you're going to end up doing and how responsible you're going to be when you hit that age to make decisions. Now, I told you I wasn't raised right. My mom locked herself in the room and told me not to talk to her my whole life.
Dang, that's messed up.
Yeah. Like, she would, and it was my stepdad that bought everything, okay?
Mm-hmm.
She never did anything for us. She would do it for the church and for other kids, and she would act all perfect in front of everybody, but behind closed doors, she was not the same person. Okay, now by the time I'm 18, some guy's trying to...
I think you're 19 or 20. You said you got 3 kids by 19.
Yeah, by 19, but this happened, the nose happened when I was 18.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was... I think I might have been 19. Yeah, I think it was at 19. I was trying to buy crack, and this guy was trying to fleece me, give me fake stuff. So I said, if it's not real, I'm not giving you the money. And he literally punched me from this window, grabbed the money out of my hand, and took off running.
So he robbed you.
Yeah, and then by then, my fucking face was ruined. So I started, when I got out, like I said, I couldn't get any more jobs because of my record and my drug problem. So I went to the club, and by this time, I was already doing cocaine, ecstasy. I had already done cocaine, ecstasy, marijuana, just about everything except for meth and heroin.
So have you ever did meth or heroin?
I have, but I never started. I always knew from rehab when I was 15 not to touch heroin because they said you would get sick.
Right.
And you had to shoot it. And I was deathly afraid of needles. So I didn't start doing heroin until I was 28.
28?
Yes.
So you did start doing heroin?
Eventually, when I was about 10 years ago, I started doing heroin, and I've been on it ever since. Haven't been able to get off. I got off one time for 6 months, and then I got off another 3 times for like 6 months, and was on Suboxone.
So what made you do heroin for the first time at 26? After you already said you was educated on...
Because me and this guy were fighting. He didn't want me to smoke crack, but he was already on heroin when I met him, and I said, well, I smoke crack, I don't do heroin. So I would buy him the heroin, and I'd buy me the crack because I was dancing. And
he was a stripper.
Yeah, and he didn't have any money, so he literally drove me off a fucking cliff because I wouldn't buy his heroin. So I said, fuck it. After that, I was still dating him like an idiot. So I went and just started buying heroin instead of crack. And I said, well, since I'm paying for it, I might as well do it. And I've been on it ever since. And I left town. I left Ohio to come here to get off of it because I had been off of it for 6 months, relapsed for about 2 months, and then after I relapsed, now all of a sudden he's blaming me, even though he did it the whole time I was, and so he wants to break up now because he can't afford both of our addictions, and now I'm not dancing because all the clubs are shut down because they got raided for drugs and prostitution and food stamp cards. So now there's no clubs near me, so I can't make any money. And you know how it is. A drug addict is a drug addict.
Right.
As soon as you're out of money, they're going to kick you to the curb. And that's pretty much what happened and why I'm here now. And then when I was on my way down here, I had bought like a gram, and they had found it. They actually...
A gram of what?
Fentanyl.
Okay.
I fell asleep at a gas station in my car, and I woke up to the cops, and they impounded my car. And I keep checking. I don't have any charges because they didn't know who I was, whose car it was, who the tags matched, or anything. So I don't even know if they knew who I was to even do anything. But anyway, so I took off, and now I'm here, and you see it, and I have yet to kick the habit.
So when you came here, was you looking for a better life? Do you think if
Yes.
you change your environment, you might be able to get some help and get off of it?
But in the back of my head, I knew that I'm going to take me wherever I go. But at the time, once you've been sick, dope sick, you realize that anything is worth trying to do. So I was willing to try it. And like I said, I was clean when I got down here. When I got down here, I stayed clean for about 2 weeks. And then finally I said, I'm almost out of money. I gotta find something to do. And I knew from experimenting before, running around the country, that the only way I was gonna find and meet people was to go find the fucking hood or the ghetto and smoke some dope. And then everybody started flocking, and I've met, like, each day that I would smoke, I would probably get about 35 phone numbers in my phone. So now even people that did smoke, people that didn't smoke, just everywhere I went, because I was out and about trying to hustle up money. So I met more people. So like I said, I spent my last $100 on crack instead of a hotel room, and I ended up having a hotel room to stay for like the next 3 months. But I ended up smoking crack the whole 3 months. And now I've quit smoking.
So how was you making your money during this time? Did you ever sell yourself or anything like that?
I'm not going to lie and say I haven't.
Right.
I mean, there's been people that I really liked that...
But you got high with and they just had sex and
Oh, no. I don't fuck with drug addicts because obviously they can't never get hard. That, and they'll rob you, they'll lie, they cheat, and they never have enough money. And for the money I would get with somebody else, you're going to give me that little bit at 20 and I could get like $200 or $300? Why would I waste my time on a 20? But yeah, but the point is, like, I've had boyfriends that do it, and then we would get high and do it together, but and they were giving me shit anyway. It ain't tricking if you got it. But also, like I said, I've been clean off crack cocaine for 2 weeks, and in that 2 weeks, I've already got all brand new clothes, my ID, I got a new job, and a car to drive. So it's amazing how fast it'll take you down and what you can do when you actually put it down, because everybody knows one day of not using is like a miracle. Like, if you can make it through a full day without using something, it's a miracle. And now I still haven't trying to kick all the other habits, but definitely kick the crack habit.
Let me ask you something. Let's back up a little bit. You mentioned something about the sickness.
Oh yeah.
How is the would you rather go without fentanyl? I mean, what's the difference between going without fentanyl or heroin and going without crack?
Well,
if you didn't have neither one for 23 hours, on the 24th hour, you could pick which one you take.
Well, I like them both, but I'm just gonna say, if you didn't have crack, you would sleep for 2 weeks after you didn't have it, and then if you didn't have heroin, you would be awake and in pain and suffering the whole time after you don't have it.
Right. So the fentanyl sickness is worse.
It is, but that's what I'm saying. I've been on it for 10 years, and I was graduated all the way up to car fentanyl. Plus,
what's that?
I don't really believe in dope sickness. I think people were giving me stuff to purposely make me sick. I know that sounds crazy.
Yeah, do, because everybody gets sick off of everybody I talk to.
They literally wake you up with Narcan. So if they can do that in the hospital when you OD, why can't they do that any other time? They have these pumps that they put in you, just like the people that have back injuries, how they have a fentanyl pump inside. They also have Narcan in that pump, and they can release it anytime they want. And that's what they do, because the government is part of the drug ring, and that's how they get you to keep using, so they can keep putting you in jail and making you look bad, so they can steal everything you have. Because once you go to jail, they impound your car, they take your money, they could seize your house. I mean, anything you own is theirs. They never take your purse or your stuff with you to jail. They leave it in the car because they know they own the impound lots, just like they own all the car dealerships when the government bought them up. So they take all your stuff.
Yeah, listen. Right now, I think my memory card is about full.
Okay.
So
Of course, you don't
before
want to
we
hear
end, yeah,
that. You don't want to
no,
hear the
we're gonna go back.
truth.
We're gonna go back to that. I just want to make sure I get an ending,
Okay.
just in case. So just in case there's any kids or adolescents, anything like that watching my show, tell them
Okay.
why they should never choose this lifestyle.
Uh, because people lie. They make it sound like it's going to be fun or it's going to make you happy or feel good or feel better or change who you are. But it's not going to change who you are in a good way. It's going to change who you are in a bad way. So if you're socially awkward and you don't have friends now, wait till you start using drugs. You won't even have parents. Like your closest family won't even talk to you, let alone making new friends. And they lie. There is no good feeling that it gives you. It literally just makes you want more and takes all your money. It's a lie so they can get your money. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's excellent advice. Now you
Yeah.
want to go back to the government? Go ahead.
Oh, but yeah, I'm 100% sure the government has a lot to do with this whole thing. Because if it's all a money making system, you know, and that's what I'm saying. The people will lie to get you to buy their stuff, just like the government will lie to make you buy their stuff. So there's no way to get through an airport or a boat or anywhere around this country. It's so fortified without the government knowing. So they'll go and they'll arrest all the dope fiends so they can know where the dope boys are at, so they can rob the dope boys. And then what do they do after they take your $20,000 in cash and all your drugs? They put it back out on the streets so they can sell and make the money, throw you in jail,